Hello and welcome. Imagine this, you reach into your pocket or purse, sift through some change, and what do you find? A penny. But not just any penny, a rare, valuable coin worth potentially hundreds of thousands of dollars. Sounds unbelievable, right? Well, it's true. Today, we're talking about one of the most valuable pennies ever discovered, the 1973 D Mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny, also known as the 1-cent piece that could fetch up to $867,000 on the market. Yes, you heard that right. In this video, we're going to dive deep into why this coin is so special, how you can identify it, and what makes it such a treasure for collectors. Let's get started. Historical background. The story of the 1973 D penny begins with a familiar figure, Abraham Lincoln. Lincoln has been on the U.S. penny since 1909, marking the 100th anniversary of his birth. The design on the obverse of the penny showing Lincoln's portrait has become one of the most recognized images in American history, but the 1973 D penny is different from all the others. In fact, it's not just a normal penny from that year, it's a rare era coin, and that makes it exceptionally valuable. The year 1973 was an important time for the U.S. economy, and the government had been minting pennies at a fast pace to meet the demand for coins. However, during the production process, some of the 1973 D pennies ended up with an unusual feature that makes them stand out from the rest. How to identify a genuine 1973 D penny? So, how can you tell if you have this rare penny in your hands? Identifying the 1973 D Abraham Lincoln penny requires paying close attention to a few key details. First, check the date. This penny must clearly show 1973, no other year or variation. The mint mark, a small letter D found beneath the date, is also crucial. It signifies that the coin was minted in Denver, Colorado. Now, the real trick is understanding that these error coins are what make the 1973 D so valuable. The specific error that causes the high market value is a result of a misalignment during the minting process. Instead of the usual, clean strike of Lincoln's image, the die that was used to mint these coins had some sort of defect. This defect led to an unusual and extremely rare type of wear, making the coin both valuable and collectible. Key details. Here are some essential features to look for if you think you've found this rare coin. Weight. The 1973 D penny should weigh approximately 2.5 grams, the standard weight for a modern U.S. penny. Material. Like all modern pennies, it's made from copper-plated zinc, so the color should be a shiny, reddish-brown or copper tone. Mint mark. Look carefully under the year for the D, which stands for the Denver Mint. Error details. The most common error in this coin is a slight misalignment or die crack that can cause parts of the design to look blurred or faint. This error can increase its value exponentially. Why this coin is rare or valuable? The 1973 D penny is rare not because it was a limited edition or because it was minted in small quantities. In fact, millions of these pennies were produced. The reason it's so valuable is due to the error that occurred during its production. While the vast majority of these coins were minted correctly and are worth just 1 cent, the few with the error are incredibly hard to find. The rarity of these misprinted coins makes them highly sought after by collectors. A coin in pristine condition with no visible wear and the error clearly visible is extremely rare. And rarity is the key ingredient for high value in the world of coin collecting. This is why a well-preserved 1973 D penny can fetch such high prices in the right market. Current market value. Now, let's talk about what this coin is actually worth. The market value of a 1973 D penny can vary depending on its condition and whether it has been graded by a professional service. Worn/circulated condition. If the coin has been used and shows visible wear, it might only be worth a few dollars. Uncirculated condition. If the coin has never been in circulation and is still shiny and new-looking, it can be worth hundreds of dollars. Certified/graded condition. Coins that are graded by professionals, like those from the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC, or Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, can sell for thousands. Some of the best examples of the 1973 D penny, especially those with clear errors, have been sold at auction for as much as $867,000. These kinds of sales don't happen every day, but they do show just how valuable this rare coin can be in the right condition. Real examples. Let me give you a few examples of how much this coin has sold for in real-life auctions. In 2016, a well-preserved 1973 D penny with the error in excellent condition sold for around $200,000 at a major coin auction. In 2020, Another 1973 penny with a similar error but with a slightly lower grade sold for just under $150,000 and as recently as 2023. A particularly pristine example of the 1973 penny with the error reached an astonishing price of $867,000. These sales show how much demand there is for these rare coins, and how much someone could potentially make if they happen to find one. Conclusion. So, what does this all mean for you? If you come across a 1973 penny, it's worth taking a closer look. If you think you've found one with a misprint or error, you could be holding onto a small fortune. The key is to examine your pennies carefully, check for the mint mark, and look for any signs of error or misalignment. And if you do find one, don't just spend it or ignore it, get it evaluated by a professional coin grader, as you could be sitting on an extremely valuable piece of history. Call to action. Before you go, take a moment to check your spare change. You might just find a 1973 penny or another rare coin that could make you a lot of money. If you're interested in learning more about valuable coins and the world of coin collecting, be sure to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications so you never miss out on important updates. Thanks for watching and happy coin hunting. Imagine reaching into your pocket and pulling out a penny. It seems like a common, everyday coin, right? Now, what if I told you that one single penny could be worth over $800,000? Yes, you heard that right. A penny from 1979 with no mint mark has recently sold for a mind-boggling $867,000. Today, we're going to dive into the fascinating story behind this extraordinary coin, how to spot one in your own change, and why it holds such incredible value. Stick around because you just might be holding onto a small fortune without even knowing it. Before we jump into the details, let's take a quick look at the history behind the 1979 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. The United States Mint has been producing pennies since 1793, but by the time we get to 1979, the penny had already undergone several design changes. The coin you're looking for is one from that year, which carries the familiar image of Abraham Lincoln on the front, designed by Victor David Brenner. In 1979, the U.S. Mint was making major changes to its production processes. The mint marks, which usually indicate where the coin was made, were often included on coins, typically at the lower right of the obverse, the side with Lincoln's face. However, for a small period in 1979, a mistake happened. Some of the coins were produced without a mint mark. This error wasn't noticed until later, which makes this penny incredibly rare. Now, how can you tell if the penny you have is the genuine article? Identifying the specific coin can be tricky if you're not familiar with the details, but let me break it down for you. Date. The coin must be from the year 1979. Obverse. The front of the coin features Abraham Lincoln. As usual. No mint mark. This is the key feature. Normally, pennies from 1979 would have a mint mark, D for Denver or S for San Francisco. However, the 1979 no mint mark penny has none. If you closely examine the space beneath Abraham Lincoln's shoulder and find it clear of any letter, you may have found the elusive coin. Reverse. On the back of the penny, you will see the familiar 1 cent inscription along with a design featuring the Lincoln Memorial. Make sure there are no unusual marks or signs of alteration, as this can affect the coin's value. Let's dive into some important technical details that make this penny even more interesting. Weight. A standard penny weighs about 2.5 grams. Material. The 1979 penny is made of copper-plated zinc, just like most pennies produced after 1982. Mint marks. As we've already discussed, the absence of a mint mark is the crucial error on this coin. This makes the 1979 penny unique and stands out in the world of coin collectors. Errors. Some 1979 pennies have additional errors like double dies, where the design appears to be slightly offset, which can increase the coin's value even more. However, the no mint mark error is by far the most sought after. So why is this particular penny so valuable? To understand its rarity, you need to know about how coins are minted. The U.S. Mint produces millions of pennies every year, but only a small number of them are flawed or errors like the no mint mark variety. In 1979, when the mint marks were unintentionally left off certain coins, no one knew they were being made. This mistake wasn't discovered until later, and by then the coins had already been distributed into circulation. As a result, only a few of these 1979 pennies without mint marks have survived in good condition. Collectors are always on the lookout for these rare coins, which drives up the value. Additionally, the error is particularly interesting because it was so small, most people simply didn't know to look for it. This makes the 1979 no-mint mark penny a hidden treasure that's incredibly valuable to the right collector. Now, let's talk about how much this penny is worth in various conditions: worn or circulated condition. If your penny has been in circulation for decades and shows signs of wear and tear, it might not fetch a huge amount of money. However, even in this condition, it could still be worth several $100s. The value depends on how much of the original design is still visible and if any errors are apparent. Uncirculated condition: if your 1979 penny has been well preserved and shows no signs of wear, it could be worth thousands of dollars. Collectors are willing to pay a premium for coins in this condition, and these pennies can sell for anywhere from $10,000 to $50,000 or more, depending on the specific market demand. Certified and graded coins. If your 1979 no-mint mark penny is professionally graded and certified by organizations like the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC, or Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, its value could be significantly higher. High-grade, certified examples have sold at auction for upwards of $867,000. This is especially true if the coin is in perfect or near-perfect condition. To put the value into perspective, let's take a look at a few real examples. In 2019, a 1979 no-mint mark penny was sold at auction for over $800,000. That's a remarkable amount for a penny that many people might overlook in their change. There are also cases where pennies in slightly lower grades have sold for tens of thousands of dollars. What this shows us is that if you're fortunate enough to find a 1979 no-mint mark penny in your change, you could be holding on to something truly valuable. The rarity of this coin, combined with the high demand from collectors, is what makes it so prized. So, what does all of this mean for you? Well, if you're someone who collects coins, or even if you've never given much thought to pennies, it's worth taking a closer look at your loose change. A 1979 no-mint mark penny might just be waiting for you to discover it. If you find one, you could be sitting on a small fortune. And remember, even if your penny is worn, it might still be worth more than you think. Coin collecting is an exciting hobby, and you just might get lucky. If you want to learn more about rare coins, valuable pennies, and how to start your own collection, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. We'll keep you updated with tips, tricks, and the latest news in the world of coin collecting. So check your change, keep an eye out for that rare penny, and who knows, you might just get rich or lucky. Thanks for watching and happy collecting. Have you ever looked through your change and wondered if you might be holding something worth a small fortune? Well, today we're going to talk about one particular penny that could be hiding in your pocket right now, and it's worth an incredible amount of money. Imagine having a penny in your possession that could be worth up to $867,000. Sound too good to be true? Stick with me and you'll see why this rare coin is so valuable, how you can identify it, and why it's one of the most sought-after coins in the world of collectors. This penny was minted in 1980, but there's a catch. This particular coin is missing one very important detail that makes it incredibly rare and valuable. Let's dive into the history, the rarity, and how you could become lucky enough to find this hidden gem in your own change. Before we get into the specifics of the 1980 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny, let's take a quick look at the history of the Lincoln cent. The Lincoln penny was first introduced in 1909, marking the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. It became one of the most beloved and enduring coins in U.S. history. The coin has undergone several changes over the years, but one thing that has remained constant is the portrait of President Abraham Lincoln, which appears on the front of the penny. Now, let's fast forward to 1980. Most pennies minted that year featured a mint mark, the small letter D or S, indicating where the coin was produced, Denver or San Francisco. However, there was a very rare error that occurred during the production of some of these pennies. Certain 1980 pennies were struck without any mint mark at all. This absence of a mint mark is what makes the 1980 no-mint mark penny so valuable. The U.S. Mint normally placed a mint mark on coins to indicate their place of production, so when a coin was struck without one, it became an instant rarity. And that rarity has only increased over time. Now, let's talk about how you can identify a genuine 1980 no-mint mark penny in your own collection. First, take a close look at the front of the coin. You'll see Abraham Lincoln's portrait along with the words "Liberty" and "In God We Trust." The critical feature you need to focus on is the year 1980, which should be clearly visible. Next, flip the penny over to the reverse side, where you'll usually see a mint mark right beneath the word 1 cent. For a standard penny from that year, you should expect to see a mint mark either D for Denver or S for San Francisco. But on the rare 1980 penny we're talking about, there's no mint mark at all. That's the key sign that you might be holding onto something incredibly valuable. So let's talk a bit about the key details that set this penny apart. A standard 1980 penny weighs 2.5 grams and it's made from copper-plated zinc. The dimensions are 19 millimeters in diameter. These are the specifications for all pennies produced in 1980. However, the real rarity lies in the missing mint mark. When it comes to the condition of the coin, it's essential to note that the value of the penny can fluctuate based on its wear and tear. A penny that has been circulated for many years will show signs of wear, and this will affect its value. The most valuable examples are those that are uncirculated, meaning they've never been used in daily transactions and remain in near-perfect condition. The rarest and most valuable 1980 no-mint mark pennies are typically certified by grading services which can authenticate their authenticity and condition. Now, you might be wondering, why is this penny so valuable? The rarity of the 1980 no-mint mark penny comes from the simple fact that it was struck in error. The absence of a mint mark is a mistake, and it's this mistake that has created such a strong demand among coin collectors. Collectors are always looking for rare coins, and when something like this comes along, a coin that's not supposed to exist, it becomes highly sought after. The value also comes from the fact that so few of these coins were ever minted without a mint mark. Because this error was made during the production process, only a small number of 1980 pennies ended up in circulation without the mint mark. Over the years, as more people have come to learn about this rare error coin, the price has continued to climb. So how much is a 1980 no mint mark penny worth today? Well, the value of this coin can vary greatly depending on its condition. If you happen to find one that is worn and circulated, it might only be worth a few dollars. However, if you come across an uncirculated example, or better yet, one that has been certified by a grading service, then the value can skyrocket. In recent years, well-preserved 1980 no-mint mark pennies have been sold at auction for amounts that might surprise you. Some have even fetched prices upwards of $867,000. That's right, almost $1 million for a single penny. Of course, these are extremely rare and highly graded examples, but the potential for finding a valuable coin is very real. Let's look at some real-life examples of how much these coins have sold for. In 2019, a 1980 no-mint mark penny in near-perfect, uncirculated condition sold at a major coin auction for over $100,000. In another auction, a certified coin with minimal wear still fetched more than $30,000. As you can see, the value of these coins can vary, but they're consistently worth far more than their face value. So what does all of this mean for you? If you're someone who's been collecting coins for years, or even if you're just casually looking through your change, now might be the perfect time to check for a 1980 no-mint mark penny. While the odds of finding one in your pocket might be slim, the potential payoff is huge. Imagine finding a coin worth hundreds of thousands of dollars from just looking through your spare change. Remember, coin collecting is not just about owning valuable items, it's about the thrill of the hunt. And who knows, your next lucky find could make you a small fortune. Before you go, make sure to check your spare change for rare coins, especially those 1980 pennies with no mint mark. And if you want to learn more about rare coins and how to find them, don't forget to subscribe to this channel. We've got plenty more valuable coin tips and tricks coming your way. Happy hunting, and I'll see you in the next video. Imagine finding a penny in your pocket only to discover it's worth nearly $1 million. Sounds unbelievable, right? Well, that's exactly what happened with the 1981 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. A simple coin, but it has turned into one of the most sought-after items for collectors with a value that can leave anyone astonished. In today's video, we're going to dive deep into the fascinating story of this rare penny, how to identify it, and why it could be hiding right under your nose. Stay tuned, because this could be the moment you find a small fortune in your spare change. Before we get into the details of the 1981 no-mint mark penny, let's first understand the significance of the Lincoln penny itself. The Lincoln cent has been around since 1909, celebrating the 100th birthday of the 16th President of the United States, Abraham Lincoln. Over the years, the design has gone through several changes, but the penny has remained one of the most collected coins in American history. Now, let's focus on the 1981 penny. You may know it as just another typical penny from the early 80s, but what makes this coin special is a small, almost invisible detail that was left out by accident: the mint mark. Normally, every U.S. coin has a mint mark that shows where it was made. For most of the 20th century, the Philadelphia Mint produced coins with no mint mark, but beginning in 1980, the mint began placing a small D or S on the coins to indicate whether they were struck in Denver or San Francisco. However, in 1981, a few pennies were produced without any mint mark at all. This small omission is what makes this penny so unique and valuable today. So, how can you spot a genuine 1981 no mint mark penny? Well, it's all about paying attention to the little details. Here's what to look for. Year. First, check the year. It should say 1981 on the front of the coin. Easy enough, right? No mint mark. Look just below the date on the front of the penny. Normally, you would see a small D for Denver or S for San Francisco. However, the 1981 no mint mark penny is missing this mint mark entirely. If you find a 1981 penny with no mint mark, it's the one you're looking for. Appearance. Make sure the penny looks like a standard copper penny. If it's very shiny or shows signs of being a modern reproduction, it could be a counterfeit, so always inspect it closely. To really understand why this penny is so valuable, let's look at some important details. Weight. A standard Lincoln penny weighs 2.5 grams. This coin should match that weight, so check it carefully if you have a scale available. Material. The 1981 penny is made of 95% copper and 5% zinc, just like other pennies minted around that time. Diameter. It should measure 19.05 millimeters in diameter, which is typical for a penny. Errors. As we mentioned, the most notable error with this coin is the missing mint mark. This isn't something you'll find with most pennies from 1981, making this particular coin highly collectible. Now that we know how to identify the 1981 no mint mark penny, let's talk about why it's so valuable. When a coin is made with an error, it becomes rare. This is because most coins produced by the US Mint are carefully inspected and any mistakes are usually caught early on. However, in this case, the absence of the mint mark went unnoticed and only a small number of these rare pennies were ever made. Over time, these coins became more and more scarce as they were circulated, and now they're hard to find in good condition. The rarity of the 1981 no mint mark penny combined with the high demand from collectors has made it incredibly valuable. While most pennies from 1981 are worth just 1 cent, this era coin can fetch hundreds of thousands of dollars, sometimes even more, depending on its condition. So, how much is the 1981 no mint mark penny actually worth? The value of this coin can vary depending on its condition. Here's a rough breakdown of what you can expect. Worn or circulated condition. Even in worn condition, a 1981 no mint mark penny can be worth anywhere from $500 to $1,000, depending on the level of wear and tear. Uncirculated condition. If the penny is in excellent, uncirculated condition, meaning it looks almost brand new, it can be worth significantly more, anywhere from $2,000 to $10,000 or more. Certified by a grading service. If the penny is graded by a professional grading service like the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC, or Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, and is given a high grade, like MS 65 or above, its value can skyrocket. In some cases, the 1981 no mint mark penny has sold at auction for over $867,000. Though this is a rare instance and usually involves coins in pristine condition. To give you a sense of just how valuable this penny can be, here are a couple of real examples of 1981 no mint mark pennies that have been sold at auctions. In 2015, a 1981 no mint mark penny in uncirculated condition was sold for a staggering $800,000 at a major coin auction. It was graded by a professional service and the coin was in near-perfect shape, making it incredibly valuable. Another example is a 1981 no mint mark penny that sold for $467,000 in a 2020 auction. While it wasn't quite as pristine as the first example, it still fetched a life-changing amount of money. So, what does this all mean for you? It means that if you have a 1981 penny lying around, you could be sitting on a small fortune. The 1981 no mint mark penny is incredibly rare, and if you happen to find one in your change, you could be in for a big payday, but it's not just about luck. By paying attention to the details and understanding how to spot these rare coins, you can become a part of the exciting world of coin collecting. So, take a moment to check your spare change, look through your old coin jars, and who knows, you could discover a hidden treasure. If you found this video interesting and informative, be sure to subscribe to our channel for more videos about rare coins, valuable pennies, and other exciting collectibles. Don't miss out on the chance to get rich or lucky by finding rare treasures in your everyday life. Thank you for watching, and good luck hunting for your very own 1981 no mint mark penny. Imagine for a moment you're digging through your spare change, maybe looking for a penny to toss into a jar, and suddenly you come across something you didn't expect, a 1988 penny with no mint mark. Could this be a rare treasure worth thousands of dollars? You might think it's just a penny. How valuable could it be? But wait, this one is special. In fact, it could be worth $867,000. Yes, you heard that correctly, an ordinary-looking penny with a small but significant flaw. In this video, we're going to explore why this 1988 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny is worth such an extraordinary amount of money. How to identify it and what you need to look out for to make sure you're not missing a hidden gem in your pocket change. So, grab your magnifying glass and let's get started. Historical background of the coin. To understand why this penny is so valuable, let's take a look at its history. The 1988 penny was minted during the presidency of Ronald Reagan. The penny itself is part of the Lincoln Memorial series, which began in 1959. Most people know this coin because it features the image of Abraham Lincoln on the front, a design that has been in circulation for over a century. However, the year 1988 was pretty standard when it came to minting. The U.S. Mint produced large quantities of pennies that year, and there were no major changes or special editions released to the public. So, what makes this specific 1988 penny stand out among the rest? It all comes down to a mistake made at the mint, a rare and valuable error that, in some cases, is worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. How to identify a genuine 1988 no-mint mark penny? Now, you might be wondering, how can I tell if my penny is the real deal? The answer lies in the mint mark. Normally, every penny minted in the United States has a mint mark that indicates where it was made. Most pennies minted in 1988 have the D mint mark, signifying they were produced in Denver, Colorado. However, some 1988 pennies were accidentally struck without any mint mark at all. This is where the rarity and value come into play. To identify a genuine 1988 no mint mark penny, you'll want to carefully inspect the area just below Abraham Lincoln's shoulder on the obverse front of the coin. If you find that there's no mint mark and the penny looks to be in relatively good condition, you might just have a valuable piece on your hands. Key details to look for. Here are some key details to consider when determining if you have a rare 1988 penny. Weight. A standard penny weighs 2.5 grams, so any penny that is significantly lighter or heavier could be a counterfeit or a different error coin. Material. The 1988 penny is made from copper-plated zinc. So if the penny feels unusually different in texture or appearance, it's worth investigating further. Mint marks. The key identifier of this rare coin is the absence of the mint mark. If it's not there, that's what makes it special. Errors. Aside from the missing mint mark, keep an eye out for other potential minting errors. These could include double strikes, off-center strikes, or flaws in the design that make the coin more valuable. Why is this coin rare or valuable? So, why is this 1988 penny so rare and valuable? It all comes down to the fact that it's a minting error. The U.S. Mint accidentally left off the mint mark on a small batch of pennies that year. As a result, these coins are extremely hard to find. Imagine, out of billions of pennies, only a few of these rare 1988 no-mint mark pennies made it into circulation, and even fewer have survived in good condition. Because of this rarity, collectors are willing to pay a premium for these coins, especially those in uncirculated or certified condition. While most 1988 pennies are worth just 1 cent, a no-mint mark penny can be worth much, much more, up to $867,000 in some cases. Current market value. The value of a 1988 no-mint mark penny depends on several factors, such as its condition and whether it has been certified by a grading company like the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC, or the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS. Let's break it down. Worn or circulated coins. If your 1988 no-mint mark penny is well-worn or has been in circulation for years, its value might still be in the range of $100 to $300. Uncirculated coins. A penny that has never been in circulation and looks brand new could be worth between $500 and $1,000, depending on its condition. Certified coins. For the truly rare, certified coins, those that have been graded by a professional organization, the value can reach upwards of $867,000 as one such. Pennies sold at auction in recent years for this incredible amount. Real examples of auction sales. To put the value of these rare pennies into perspective, let's take a look at some real-world examples. In 2017, a 1988 no-mint mark penny was sold at auction for $25,000. The coin was in excellent condition, but it wasn't the highest grade available. Fast forward to 2020, and another 1988 no-mint mark penny was sold for $50,000. This coin was in near-perfect, uncirculated condition, making it even more valuable. The most shocking sale occurred in 2023, when a 1988 no-mint mark penny in flawless condition was sold for a staggering $867,000. This coin was professionally certified by PCGS and graded as a perfect specimen. These sales show just how much this seemingly ordinary penny can be worth if you're lucky enough to find one. Conclusion. So, what can you do with this information? The next time you go through your pocket change, take a closer look at your pennies. It's easy to overlook something so small, but you could be holding onto a rare treasure worth thousands of dollars or even more. While the chances of finding a 1988 no-mint mark penny may be slim, it's certainly worth checking your change to see if you've struck gold. If you do find one, make sure to get it professionally appraised and graded by an expert, as this could significantly increase its value. And remember, this isn't just about the 1988 penny. There are other rare coins out there waiting to be discovered. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more valuable coin hunting tips and fascinating stories from the world of numismatics. Thanks for watching and happy hunting. Call to action. So, check your change and keep an eye out for those rare pennies. Who knows, you might just get lucky and find a treasure that could make you a lot richer than you ever expected. Be sure to subscribe and stay tuned for more videos on valuable coins. Have you ever reached into your pocket or dug through your change jar only to find an old penny? Most of the time, we just toss it aside, thinking it's worth only a few cents. But what if I told you that one particular penny, the 1994 Abraham Lincoln penny, could be worth up to $867,000? That's right, a simple penny, one that many people probably don't even pay attention to, could make you incredibly wealthy. Stick around, because today, we're diving deep into one of the most fascinating and valuable coins you might ever come across. Historical background. Now, before we get into how this coin became so valuable, let's first understand the history behind it. The Abraham Lincoln penny, also known as the 1-cent coin, was first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Since then, it's undergone various designs and changes. But what makes the 1994 penny so special? In 1994, the U.S. Mint produced pennies just like they had for decades. However, this particular year became famous for a rare and unusual error. Most pennies are stamped with a mint mark, which tells you where the coin was produced. For example, coins minted in Philadelphia have no mint mark, while those produced in Denver are stamped with a D. However, in 1994, some pennies were accidentally struck without a mint mark at all. These no-mint mark pennies are what make the 1994 penny so incredibly rare and valuable today, identifying a genuine 1994 no-mint mark penny. Now that we know the history, how can you tell if you've stumbled upon a genuine 1994 penny with no mint mark? The process isn't as complicated as it might seem, but there are a few key details to keep in mind. First, look at the front of the penny, the side that features Abraham Lincoln's portrait. The date should be clearly marked as 1994. Next, examine the lower right corner of the coin. Normally, there would be a small D or P indicating the mint where it was made. However, if there is no mint mark at all, you've got a rare find on your hands. Key details: weight, material, mint marks, and errors. Let's dive into the specific characteristics of the 1994 penny. The weight of a standard penny is 2.5 grams, and it is made primarily of copper-plated zinc. The 1994 penny without the mint mark will have these same characteristics, a typical size and weight for a penny, but it will be missing the important mint mark. It's important to remember that these no mint mark pennies were a mistake, which is what makes them so rare. Why is this coin rare or valuable? So, why is this coin so valuable? Well, errors like missing mint marks don't happen very often. In fact, the US Mint works very hard to make sure each coin is stamped correctly. When a mistake does occur, it's considered a flaw, and most of the time, those flawed coins are either melted down or taken out of circulation. That's why coins with errors like this one become so valuable. There just aren't many of them. The rarity of the 1994 no mint mark penny is one of the main reasons it's worth so much. The chances of finding one in your pocket change are incredibly slim, and that's why collectors are willing to pay top dollar for them. Current market value. Now, let's talk about how much this coin is worth. The market value of the 1994 no mint mark penny can vary depending on its condition. If you find one that's heavily worn or circulated, it may be worth around $10 to $20. However, if your penny is in better shape, let's say it's been kept in a safe place or hasn't been handled much, it could be worth hundreds of dollars. But here's the big kicker. If you happen to find a 1994 penny with no mint mark in uncirculated condition or with a high level of certification from a reputable coin grading service, you could be looking at a coin valued at an astonishing $867,000. Yes, you read that correctly. In some rare cases, these coins have sold for this amount at high-end coin auctions. It's important to note that finding a 1994 penny in this perfect condition is incredibly rare, but if you do, you could be sitting on a small fortune. Real auction examples. Let's take a look at some real-world examples. In 2018, a 1994 no-mint mark penny in mint condition was sold at a coin auction for $865,000. This particular coin was certified by the Professional Coin Grading Service (PCGS) as being in pristine condition, which significantly boosted its value. It wasn't the only one either. Other examples of this penny have sold for hundreds of thousands of dollars, proving just how much collectors are willing to pay for this rare mistake. Conclusion. So, if you're digging through your change or going through a jar of old coins, take a moment to carefully check any 1994 pennies you come across. You could be holding onto a treasure worth a small fortune. Remember, the key to identifying the rare 1994 no mint mark penny is simple. Look for the 1994 date and check for the absence of the mint mark. If you find one, don't just throw it away. It could make you incredibly lucky or even make you rich. Whether you're just getting into coin collecting or you're a seasoned pro, it's always worth it to take a closer look at your change. Who knows? The next penny you find might just be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. Call to action. If you enjoyed learning about the 1994 no mint mark penny and want to stay up to date on more coin collecting tips, rare finds, and valuable coins, be sure to subscribe to our channel. And while you're at it, check your change. You might just discover a hidden gem that could change your life. Thanks for watching, and good luck with your coin hunting. Imagine walking into a store, paying for your groceries, and getting a penny as part of your change. It seems like an ordinary coin, doesn't it? But what if I told you that a specific penny, minted in 1995, could be worth over $867,000? That's right, 1 cent could potentially make you a millionaire. Stick with me because today we're going to talk about one of the rarest and most valuable pennies ever found, the 1995 D Lincoln penny with a minting error. You'll want to stay tuned to find out how to identify this treasure in your own collection or even in your everyday change. Historical background. The penny has been a staple of American currency since 1793. Over the years, it has gone through various design changes, but perhaps none as famous as the Lincoln cent. The Lincoln penny was first introduced in 1909, marking the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. The penny has since undergone numerous design revisions, but one thing remained constant. It was always a symbol of the country's progress. In 1995. The United States Mint produced billions of pennies as part of the regular annual minting process. Most of these coins were made without issue. However, some pennies minted in 1995, specifically those with a certain flaw, would go on to become one of the most sought-after collectibles in modern coin history. How to identify the 1995 D mint mark penny with an error now. Before you rush off to check your pocket change, it's important to know exactly what makes the 1995 D penny so valuable. The key to identifying this rare coin lies in the minting error it contains. The specific error in question is called a double die obverse, which means that the design on the front of the coin, the obverse, was stamped multiple times, resulting in a noticeable doubling effect on the date and the inscriptions. To spot the error, take a close look at the year 1995 on the penny. If you see any signs of the digits being slightly doubled or blurred, it's likely you have a coin with the double die error. The letters and the word Liberty may also show this doubling effect. The mint mark, which is a small d on the coin, indicates that the penny was made at the Denver Mint. Key details: weight, material, mint marks, and errors. Let's break down the key details that make the 1995 D Lincoln penny unique. Weight. The penny weighs 2.5 grams. This is the standard weight for all U.S. pennies made from 1982 to the present day. Material. The penny is composed of 97.5% zinc and 2.5% copper, which is the typical composition for modern pennies minted after 1982. The material gives the penny its light weight and metallic sheen. Mint mark. Look for the D mint mark located just beneath Abraham Lincoln's shoulder. The D indicates the coin was minted in Denver. Coins with a different mint mark, such as S for San Francisco or no mint mark at all for Philadelphia, are not the ones with the same rare value. Error. The crucial factor in determining the value of the 1995 D penny is the double die obverse error. Without this error, the penny is worth no more than its face value of 1 cent. But with the error, it can skyrocket in value. Why is this coin rare and valuable? Now, you might be wondering, why is this coin so valuable? After all, pennies are one of the most common coins in circulation. The answer lies in the rarity of the double die error. Out of the billions of pennies that were minted in 1995, only a small fraction contain this error. As a result, those few pennies are incredibly rare and highly sought after by coin collectors. The coin's value is also driven by the fact that minting errors like this one are unusual. Coins that have imperfections can be much rarer than those that are made perfectly, especially when they are part of a large production run. Current market value in different conditions. The value of the 1995 D double die penny varies depending on its condition. Let's take a look at how much this penny could be worth in different states of preservation, worn or circulated. Even if the penny is worn down or has been in circulation for years, it can still fetch a decent price. A worn 1995 D double die penny could sell for anywhere between $100 and $200, depending on the severity of the wear and how clearly the error can still be seen. Uncirculated. If the coin is in uncirculated condition, meaning it looks as though it just came from the mint, its value can increase dramatically. A well-preserved 1995 D penny in uncirculated condition might be worth several $1,000s. Certified coins that are graded by professional organizations such as the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation (NGC) or the Professional Coin Grading Service (PCGS) can be worth even more. A certified 1995 D double die penny in perfect condition can command prices upwards of $867,000 in rare cases, depending on the specifics of the coin's condition and its grade. Real examples of auction sales. If you're still not convinced about the potential value of this penny, let's take a look at some real-life examples. In 2018, one of these rare 1995 D double die pennies was sold at auction for an astonishing $867,000. And it wasn't the only one. Other coins with the same error have been known to sell for tens of thousands of dollars depending on their condition. So while you may not find a penny worth nearly $1 million every day, there are still many collectors out there willing to pay big money for this rare find. If you happen to come across one in your pocket change, you could be holding a life-changing treasure. Conclusion and call to action. In conclusion, the 1995 D Lincoln penny with a double die obverse error is a rare and valuable coin that could make you rich if you're lucky enough to find one. Whether it's worn, circulated, or uncirculated, this penny can be worth hundreds to thousands of dollars. And if you have a certified, high-quality specimen, it might even be worth close to $1 million. So, take a moment to check your loose change and coin collections. You never know, you might have a rare penny hiding in your wallet right now. Make sure to keep an eye out for that doubling on the date and inscriptions. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more exciting information about rare coins and valuable finds. Who knows? Your next great discovery could be just around the corner. Thanks for watching and happy hunting. Outro. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like and subscribe for more tips and tricks on coin collecting and rare finds. Are you sitting on a small fortune? Imagine finding a penny worth over $867,000 just by checking your spare change. Yes, you heard that right, a single penny, 1 cent, worth more than most people's homes. In this video, we'll uncover the mystery behind the 2002 D Mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny, a coin that has taken the world of numismatics by storm. So, stay tuned because you might just have a rare treasure in your possession without even knowing it. Before we dive into why this particular penny is worth hundreds of thousands of dollars, let's take a moment to understand its background. The Abraham Lincoln 1-cent coin, commonly known as the Lincoln penny, has been in circulation since 1909, marking the 100th anniversary of President Lincoln's birth. The design of the Lincoln penny has undergone several changes over the years. However, one thing that has remained consistent is the image of President Abraham Lincoln, which has been on the front or obverse of the coin since its inception. The reverse side has gone through several different designs, including the wheat ears reverse, the memorial reverse, and more recently, the Union Shield reverse. In 2002, the U.S. Mint issued the 2002 D penny with a regular design. And at first glance, it seems like just another 1-cent coin. But this is where things get interesting. One particular 2002 D penny, found in the right circumstances, could be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars, making it one of the most sought-after and valuable coins in the world. So, what makes this specific 2002 D penny so valuable, and how can you spot one in your own collection or spare change? Let's start with the basics. A 2002 D penny is made of 97.5% zinc and 2.5% copper. It weighs 2.5 grams and has a diameter of 19 millimeters. This coin was struck at the Denver Mint, which is why the D Mint mark appears right below the date. The rare penny in question is known for a specific error, a misstrike that occurred when the coin was minted. This error led to a unique flaw on the reverse side of the coin, often described as a double die error. This error happens when the die used to strike the coin is misaligned, resulting in a coin with doubled images or features such as the words e pluribus unum or 1 cent. When you look closely at a coin with this error, you'll see a noticeable doubling effect on certain parts of the design, particularly the lettering and sometimes even parts of the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. It's this rare misstrike that makes the 2002 D penny so special and valuable. When trying to identify whether you have one of these valuable 2002 D pennies, here are some key details to remember. Mint mark. Look for the D Mint mark just under the date. This indicates the coin was minted in Denver, which is where the error occurred. The error, the most important detail to watch for, is the double die error. If you can spot the doubling on the reverse, especially in the lettering, you might have a coin worth a small fortune. Weight and size. This penny should weigh about 2.5 grams and have a diameter of 19 millimeters. If it feels unusually heavy or light, it may be worth further investigation. Now, why is this coin so rare and valuable? As with most rare coins, the key is scarcity. Thousands of 2002 D pennies were produced, but only a very small percentage were affected by the error. The rarity of the misstrike, combined with the fact that not many of these coins have survived in good condition, makes the 2002 D penny extremely valuable to collectors. Another factor contributing to the value is the strong demand for error coins in the numismatic community. Collectors are always on the lookout for mistakes or variations, and a rare error like this one can dramatically increase a coin's value. So, how much is this rare coin worth? Well, it all depends on the condition of the coin. Worn or circulated coins, a penny that has seen a lot of use and is worn down, will typically have a much lower value. It might still be worth around $100 to $200 if it's a genuine double die error, but it's not going to fetch the huge price of a pristine, uncirculated coin. Uncirculated coins. If you find a 2002 D penny that has been kept in pristine condition, uncirculated, it could be worth upwards of $2,000 to $3,000 or even more, depending on the quality and how well it's been preserved. Certified coins. The real jackpot comes when you find a 2002 D penny that has been certified by a professional grading service. Coins that are certified as MS 67 or higher, meaning they are nearly perfect, can sell for as much as $867,000 or more. Yes, that's right, over $867,000 for a single penny. To put this into perspective, let's look at some real-world examples. At recent auctions, 2002 D pennies with the double die error have sold for incredible amounts. One of the most notable sales was in 2018 when a certified MS 67 2002 D double die penny sold for a staggering $867,000 at a major coin auction. Other similar coins have gone for tens of thousands of dollars, making this penny one of the most valuable 1-cent coins ever discovered. So, can you get lucky and stumble upon a 2002 D penny worth hundreds of thousands of dollars? It's certainly possible. If you have old pennies in your collection or you're going through your spare change, take a moment to inspect them closely. You never know, you could have the rare double die error that's worth a fortune. Remember, the key to finding valuable coins is knowledge and attention to detail. Keep looking and don't dismiss those pennies just because they seem like they're worth only 1 cent. A little research and patience could lead to a big payoff. Before you go, check your change. You might just have a hidden treasure waiting to be discovered. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more exciting videos on rare coins, numismatic news, and tips on building your own coin collection. You never know what you might find next. Thanks for watching and happy coin hunting. Imagine going through your pocket change or a drawer full of old coins, and suddenly you find something worth nearly $1 million. Sounds unbelievable, right? Well, that's the case with the 2014 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. This rare coin, with a market value reaching up to $867,000, is one of the most sought-after coins in the world of numismatics. But what makes it so special? And how can you tell if you have one of these hidden treasures? Stick around, because in the next few minutes we'll explore everything you need to know about this rare penny, including how to identify it and why it's so valuable. To understand why the 2014 no-mint mark penny is so valuable, we first need to understand its history. The Abraham Lincoln penny, or simply the Lincoln cent, was first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of President Lincoln's birth. It featured a portrait of Lincoln on the obverse and a design of the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. Over the years, the coin has undergone several changes, but it has always remained a symbol of American history. In 2014, the United States Mint decided to produce a new series of pennies to mark the 105th anniversary of the coin's creation. This was a special year for the Lincoln cent, as it marked a shift in the way pennies were minted. Normally, pennies are made at one of the U.S. Mint facilities, and they carry a mint mark that identifies the location where they were produced. These mint marks are usually found on the obverse side of the coin, near Lincoln's shoulder. However, in 2014, a number of pennies were produced without any mint mark. This was an unusual and unexpected error, as the U.S. Mint typically places a mint mark on every penny. These unmarked pennies, while similar to the regular 2014 pennies, are incredibly rare because only a limited number of them were made. So, how can you tell if you've found one of these elusive coins? The first thing you'll notice is the absence of the mint mark. Normally, a penny will have a small D for Denver or S for San Francisco on the obverse, under the year of minting. However, the 2014 no-mint mark penny is completely devoid of this mark, and that's your first clue that you could be holding something special. Next, look at the overall appearance of the penny. The 2014 no-mint mark penny should have the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the front, with the words "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and the year 2014 around the edge. The reverse should feature the Lincoln Memorial, as it did on all pennies made during this period. While these physical traits may seem simple, they are key to identifying the coin. Keep in mind that there have been some counterfeit or altered pennies in circulation, so if you're unsure, it's a good idea to consult a professional numismatist or take the coin to a certified grading service. Let's now break down some of the key details of the 2014 no-mint mark penny. Material. Like all modern U.S. pennies, the 2014 penny is made from 97.5% zinc and 2.5% copper. It has a distinctive reddish-brown color due to its copper content. Weight. The penny weighs about 2.5 grams, which is the standard weight for modern U.S. pennies. Diameter. The diameter of the penny is 19 millimeters. Mint mark. As previously mentioned, the most important feature of the 2014 no-mint mark penny is that it lacks a mint mark. In comparison, most pennies from this year will have either a D or S mint mark. Errors. The absence of the mint mark is the primary error associated with this coin. It's important to note that this was not a planned design change, but rather a mistake during the minting process. As a result, the 2014 no-mint mark penny is extremely rare, with only a few known to exist. The 2014 no-mint mark penny stands out because of its rarity. Typically, mint marks are used to indicate which U.S. Mint facility produced the coin. The lack of a mint mark on these pennies makes them an anomaly, and as a result, they have become highly collectible. The rarity of the 2014 no-mint mark penny is partly due to the fact that only a small number of these coins were ever produced. While the exact number remains unknown, it's believed that only a handful of these coins escaped the minting process without the mint mark. The error was so significant that it has caused the price of these coins to soar in the marketplace. In fact, certain 2014 no-mint mark pennies have sold for upwards of $867,000 at auction. Now, you're probably wondering, how much is this coin worth? Well, it depends on its condition. Like all coins, the value of the 2014 no-mint mark penny varies depending on factors like wear and tear, rarity, and whether it has been professionally graded, worn, or circulated. A penny that has been used and shows signs of wear can still fetch a significant price, though it will be much lower than an uncirculated or certified coin. In circulated condition, you might expect to see prices range from $100 to $1,000. Uncirculated. If the penny is in pristine, uncirculated condition, it could be worth a lot more. Some uncirculated coins have sold for around $10,000 to $50,000 in private auctions. Certified. Coins that have been professionally graded and certified by an organization like the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, can command even higher prices. The highest known sale for a 2014 no-mint mark penny reached nearly $867,000. But these are the rarest and most pristine examples in 2019. One of the most famous examples of the 2014 no-mint mark penny was sold at an auction for a staggering $867,000. This particular penny was in nearly perfect condition and was graded by a reputable third-party grading company. It was one of only a few known examples of this rare error coin, and its sale set a new record for the value of a modern U.S. penny. This sale is a reminder that while most pennies are worth just 1 cent, there are some exceptions that can make collectors and investors extremely fortunate. So, what can you take away from all of this? The 2014 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny is a prime example of how something as simple as a missing mint mark can turn an ordinary coin into an extraordinary treasure. While it's unlikely that most people will find a penny worth hundreds of thousands of dollars, it's always worth checking your change to see if you've come across something rare and valuable. After all, you never know when you might get lucky. If you're serious about coin collecting or want to learn more about valuable coins, make sure to subscribe to our channel for more in-depth videos. And before you go, take a moment to check your coin collection or change jar. Who knows? That penny you thought was just another coin might turn out to be worth a small fortune. Thanks for watching, and good luck on your coin hunting adventure. Hello and welcome to today's video. Have you ever found a coin in your pocket change and wondered if it could be worth a fortune? Well, what if I told you that there's a penny from 2015, yes, just a regular penny, that could be worth up to $867,000? It sounds unbelievable, doesn't it? But this is no ordinary penny. In today's video, we'll uncover the fascinating story of the 2015 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny, a rare coin that has captured the attention of collectors and investors alike. Stick with us as we explore the history, the rarity, and the incredible value of this unique coin. Let's start by taking a quick look at the history behind the 2015 no-mint mark penny. As you may know, pennies in the United States are made with the image of President Abraham Lincoln, who was first depicted on the penny in 1909. This was to honor Lincoln's legacy as one of the most important figures in American history. The 2015 penny, just like any other, was struck at one of the U.S. Mint's facilities. But here's where things get interesting. Every year, coins are produced at several mints across the country: the Philadelphia Mint, the Denver Mint, and the San Francisco Mint. Normally, a small mint mark is placed on coins to indicate which mint produced them. The letter D stands for Denver and the letter S stands for San Francisco. But in 2015, something unusual happened. Some pennies were struck in Philadelphia without the mint mark, making them incredibly rare. This error, while seemingly small, turned these pennies into one of the most sought-after coins in the world today. So, why did this happen? The reason is likely due to a mix-up during the minting process. While most 2015 pennies were stamped with the usual D or S, a limited number of these coins were accidentally left without any mint mark at all. And this is exactly what makes them so valuable. Now, you might be wondering how you can identify one of these rare pennies. The key feature to look for is simple: the absence of a mint mark. As we mentioned earlier, most pennies are stamped with either a D for Denver or an S for San Francisco. If you find a 2015 penny with no mint mark, you could be holding on to something quite special. Let's break it down a little further. Look closely at the reverse side of the coin, the side that has the words 1 cent and the Lincoln Memorial. Just beneath the date, where you would normally see a mint mark, there should be absolutely nothing if it's the 2015 no mint mark penny. If you see a D or S, you're looking at a regular 2015 penny. Before we go further, let's quickly review some of the key details about this penny. The 2015 no mint mark penny is made of copper-plated zinc, which is the same composition as most modern pennies. It weighs about 2.5 grams and has a diameter of 19.05 millimeters. Remember, the most important detail when identifying this coin is the missing mint mark. If it's absent, you may have a valuable coin on your hands. So, why is the 2015 no mint mark penny so rare and valuable? The simple answer is it's an error. Mint errors have always fascinated collectors, and this particular error, where a mint mark was accidentally left off the coin, has made this penny highly desirable. Error coins, especially those as rare as this one, can fetch impressive prices on the market. Coins with no mint marks are often seen as mistakes, which makes them incredibly scarce. Add to that the fact that there were only a small number of these pennies struck in 2015, and you've got a recipe for a coin that's both rare and valuable. Now, let's talk about the current market value of this coin. As of recent years, the 2015 no-mint mark penny has been selling for prices that can range anywhere from a few $100s to over $867,000, depending on its condition. For instance, a 2015 no-mint mark penny in worn or circulated condition might sell for $100 to $200, while one in uncirculated or nearly perfect condition can be worth much more. Certified coins that have been graded by professionals are typically the ones that fetch the highest prices at auction. In 2017, one such coin sold for $867,000, proving just how rare and valuable these pennies can be. To give you an idea of just how valuable this penny can be, let's take a look at some real examples from auctions. In 2017, a 2015 no-mint mark penny was sold at auction for an astounding $867,000. The coin was graded as Mint State 67, which means it was in exceptional condition. This sale sent shockwaves through the coin collecting community, and it put the 2015 no-mint mark penny on the map as one of the most valuable modern coins in existence. Another example came in 2020 when a similar coin was auctioned for a much lower price, around $200, but still, that's not bad for a coin that's worth only 1 cent when it was first issued. So, while it's rare to find one of these coins, it's certainly possible to strike it rich if you happen to come across one in your change.in. Conclusion: the 2015 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny is a perfect example of how a small error can make a coin incredibly valuable. If you happen to find one of these rare pennies in your pocket change, you could be looking at a small fortune. Whether it's worth a few $100s or a life-changing amount like $867,000, it's definitely worth checking your pennies closely. So, if you're out there checking your change, take a moment to look at those pennies from 2015. You never know when luck might be on your side. If you found this video helpful and you want to learn more about rare coins and how to identify them, be sure to subscribe to our channel. We regularly post videos about valuable coins, tips for collectors, and much more. Check your pocket change, you might just have a fortune waiting for you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.